Hi guys, in this video I'm gonna share with you my complete journey to achieving the press handstand with focus on the exercises that worked for me and those that didn't. This will be quite a detailed video, so I suggest you make yourself comfortable, maybe grab a drink and let's begin. It took me about 1 year of consistent training to get the pike press to handstand and about 6 months for the straddle press. This may seem like a long time for you, but bear in mind I'm 6'2" and 90 kilograms in weight. If you are shorter and lighter, you might be able to achieve it sooner. Plus, I've never been to a gymnastics club or worked with a gymnastics coach. I've only been watching tutorials on YouTube. In relation to my training consistency, I would train between 3 to 5 times a week for about 45 to 75 minutes. I would work a lot on my straight handstand and also building strength for the press handstand. Once fully warmed up though, I wouldn't mess about with previously acquired skills like muscle ups, back lever or flag. I would channel all my energy into the one thing that needs doing, and that's the press to handstand. I began training for press handstand about 2 years ago in June-September 2016. Since pressing straight off the floor was beyond impossible for me, I decided to use an exercise ball. Despite the elevation, however, it took me quite a few attempts to lift my legs off. After all, I was trying to activate and coordinate my muscles in a challenging new way. As with all bodyweight skills, there are multiple muscles involved in both the upper and lower body. To my eye, the main muscles involved in a press handstand are the shoulders, core and back muscles, especially the lower back muscles, and the secondary muscles are the forearms and hamstrings. So in theory, to do press hands, you basically have to push your hands, wrists into the floor and use your core, hamstrings and lower back muscles to lift your legs. As you can see, wrist mobility and hamstring flexibility absolutely essential. Please note that you cannot train these muscles with traditional bodybuilding exercises in isolation. It just won't work. Alongside working with the exercise ball, I also did negative straddle press handstands. Basically, I would kick into a handstand and slowly lower my legs down to the floor in a straddle, but just before my feet touch the floor, I would hover them over and try to hold them there for about 2 to 5 seconds, just to maintain some tension. Believe it or not, these were the two main exercises that I would focus on. It was all about controlling how high I was pressing from. Before we move on, let me share with you 2 exercises that didn't really work for me as much as they were hyped. The first one was the one in which you press your head against the wall. That exercise didn't do shit for me. It was painful, it felt unnatural and restrictive as well. Would not recommend that at all, at least for me as a tall person. The seated leg raises in a forward bend were another much recommended exercise by gymnastics coaches and other YouTubers. Unfortunately, that exercise didn't do much for me. Don't get me wrong, it's a great exercise for the core, but if you're training for the L-sit or V-sit, I would recommend it then. In my case, I wanted to strengthen my lower back, so I stuck to doing the negative straddle press to handstand. I spent about 2-3 months learning to comfortably press off the exercise ball before I moved on to something lower. I would use all sorts of objects based on where I was training: chairs, sofas at home, benches in the park, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to use a stepper in a gym environment. The goal is to control the elevation, control how high or how low you're pressing from. I got my first pike press in about 1 year of training. All the discipline and all the effort finally paid off. It was a huge personal achievement for me. It's still not perfect though. There's always room for improvement, but given my height and weight, I think I've got all the right to celebrate. I have no memory of when exactly I achieved the straddle press, but I'm certain it was way sooner than the pike press. The straddle was much easier to achieve. I also remember that working on my hamstring flexibility benefited me a lot. I would stretch for about 15 to 20 minutes at the end of every session, and the 3 main stretches that I really focused on were the pancake stretch, the seated forward bend stretch and the standing forward bend stretch. So these 3 stretches helped me a lot. It's been a long but rewarding journey for me. I've enjoyed the process, although my wrists used to hurt so much in the first few months. The press handstand is a fundamental skill, especially if you're looking to perform on parallel bars, not just train on them. And if you're working towards that skill, my advice would be quite obvious. Work hard, stay focused, stay disciplined, and most importantly, listen to your body and be patient. Until next time.